Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Diane Nicholson. I'm the CEO and President of Amarc Resources. It's a complete pleasure to be up here today. 2022 was really a transformational year for the company. The whole team has hit the ground really hard and fast in 2023. Everybody's working hard, and our teams are already on site with a couple of drill rigs. So the sole purpose of Amarc Resources is to find and develop the next generation of copper gold deposits in British Columbia. So this is our cautionary looking statement, a normal one. So Amarc Resources over the last while have found and developed and put together three big copper districts in BC, copper gold districts. They are 100% owned by the company, and we've got the company to the point where we really think we're on the verge of unlocking the value that are held in these districts, and that's for our transaction partners and our shareholders alike. There is an enormous amount of optionality held in the company, and that's held at the corporate level, but it is also held in these districts, in each one of these districts. And why do I say that? Each one of these districts is focused on a known copper porphyry deposit or two deposits. And behind each of these deposits, there is a pipeline of copper gold targets, which we've started to explore and we will continue to be exploring. These types of districts anchored on these great deposits, which we're putting together, have certainly attracted the attention of the producers. We have Freeport-McMoRan in on the Joy project, and we have Boliden, our new partners, who are here today in the audience, in on our Duke deposit. Both of those entities can earn up to 70% interest in those districts by expending or funding $110 million and $90 million over stage earnings. What this actually means for Amarc, and it's pretty exciting, is we have $200 million up to that amount of non-share dilutive financing on hand as we progress these projects with our partners. Freeport, we signed the agreement in May of 2021. We've been out there for 2 field seasons. They funded activities up to $20 million. We've drilled 20,000 meters. There's about 15,500 meters of drilling due in from the laboratories, which we'll be releasing in the ensuing weeks. With Boliden are going to spend up to $10 million this year. $5 million are committed. As soon as the ink was dry on the agreement in late November, we had the drill rig on the ground. We have started delineating the Duke deposit with our new partners, and we're already out there drilling this year with 2 more drill rigs. The Ike district, we're looking at financing options for Ike, but we want to be out drilling on the Empress deposit of Ike this year as well. So a lot going on in the company, and I just want to give a bit of a shout out to our team. A lot of our team are already in the field on the drill rigs. The important thing about our team is we've done it before. We have discovered, we have developed, and we have successfully transacted a number of these big copper porphyry districts in British Columbia and around the world. You'll recognize several of these faces on the screen, and Bob Dickinson's here in the audience supporting the team as usual. So the first district we're going to look at is the Joy district. It's up here in north central British Columbia. We have good infrastructure access on all of these districts. That's incredibly important, moving these districts forward. The one thing I want to say here is we have the right rocks here in the Joy. We have I'm a geologist. We have the 200 million year old rocks. These rocks in northern BC, they host the big deposits like Galore, Red Chris. They are present on our project. This is what our Joy project looks like. We have a pipeline of targets, some of which are shown in the yellow. This district is actually anchored on the Pine deposit, which is included there in the red within the Pine target area. We have a world-class producer in Freeport funding us here. They've been absolutely fantastic to work with. This is one of our survey works. This is ground-induced polarization. It's used globally for finding porphyry deposits. And what we like as geologists are the hotter colors there, and you can see we have trends of 13, 14 kilometers of these targets that we're beginning to explore with Freeport. This is all very fast. We'll be at the booth if anybody has more questions. But we're going to home in just very briefly on the Pine deposit. You can see that the target area is 5 kilometers across. The Pine deposit itself is centered on holes 7 and 8. It's a sub-area of about 600 by 900 meters. There's been a number of historical holes in there. We know this is a gold-enriched copper system. We put deep holes into this with Freeport. We know that the mineralization extends to depth. We know the deposit is open internally. We know it's open laterally to expansion. The green holes there with the green dots, those are some dozen holes we put into this deposit with Freeport this year. We're waiting for those results back from the laboratory. But so we're going to move very quickly on to Duke. The Duke is located in the very famous Babine region. It's known for its copper and gold porphyry deposits. Some of you in the audience will recognize the old Bell and Granile mines of Noranda in the past. The Bell mine, for example, around 0.4% copper, 0.2 gold. That is really economic in British Columbia. Again, great infrastructure. This region, which is almost 700 square kilometers, is focused on the Duke deposit, anchored on it. This is where we're out working with Boliden at the current time. The AIC deposit target is about 3 kilometers on strike. It's outlined there by that red line. That is a 20 millivolt per volt IP chargeability outline. We got onto this project initially because of those little yellow dots. There were a number of historical drill holes. They were short. They were 90 meters. 80% of them finished in economic ore for British Columbia. We've been in and we've drilled about 9 holes in the central area. Those are the blue holes. And we've expanded the deposit to depth and laterally, and it is still open. We rolled the drill rig up the road a couple of years ago and drilled that hole 4, you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, a kilometer away from the known mineralization, and we hit. It's what geologists like to do. So with our partners, we have 1 drill rig operating at the moment in the center of the deposit doing deposit delineation, and we have a 2nd drill rig that's just started up, and it is exploring around hole 4 as we speak. We released our first hole from December. This was completed late in December this week. It's hole 9. It's the vertical hole you can see there. Moly is in blue, copper is in red, going down that vertical hole. It was 550 meters of continuous mineralization. Copper, moly, silver, and gold. And that was at 0.33% copper equivalent, but there were large intercepts in that, 120, 140 meters at about 0.56% copper equivalent. So we're looking forward to drilling off this deposit. Very briefly here, this is the size of our tenure in the area. We have about 80% of the productive belt, and it's 700 square kilometers, just under. The Duke deposit is centered in the middle of it. We have plans to go out and test various other deposit scale targets we have with Boliden during the summer months. So very briefly on to AIC. AIC is located in southern BC. This is the heartland of copper production, not just in the province, but the whole of Canada. This is a great place to be exploring for copper. We have 2 deposits in this district. They're the AIC and the Empress deposit. In the foreground here, you see our AIC deposit. We've got 21 long drill holes into a target area of about 8 or 9 square kilometers. We know we've got ore-grade mineralization over 1 kilometer by 1.2 kilometers, 800 meters of depth. We want to get in there. We want to drill off the resource. We want to do a PEA. But where we want to start is the higher grade copper gold area. This is shown by Empress and Empress East. What makes us excited about it? These are the grades we're finding there. Percent or over of copper, multi-gram gold, silver, moly. Those copper equivalents are 1, 2, 3%. We're looking at financing options for that, and we hope to be out there this summer drilling that. So watch out for that news. So finally, because I'm out of time, we've got the right team, we've got a great jurisdiction, we've got the right commodities in copper and gold, we're hitting the sweet spot in the markets, we've got a great portfolio, and we've got 2 great funding partners in. And again, that is up to $200 million of non-share dilutive financing. I'm at the booth with Bob Dickinson and the Amarc team. It is booth 300. It's by the main entrance door. Please come past and talk to us. We'll be happy to discuss this at greater length. 10 minutes goes really quickly. Thank you.